Welcome back to the ADCC Update Show, a show where alley cats and hunks alike can come together and chop it up about ADCC and grappling in general. I'm your host, Trey Robinson. I got Papa Reed over here, and then we got Corey Stockton, C Murder, a.k.a. Sinbad, over there behind the laptop, and then a very special guest, young Nicky Ryan over here. Nicky Ryan, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming to the studio. Yes, give it up. Everybody give it up for Nicky. Nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
How's it going, man?
Having me. Good, man. Yeah. Just doing the same stuff every day, Back to training. Took maybe 2 days off after the JT match. So I did have a three and a half hour drive home after, so there's definitely not training the next day. Just back to training at B team.
100%, dude. So, yeah, obviously a huge match for you. You submitted JT Torres, pretty historic moment, honestly, and then besides that, just all training, prepping for ADCC or anything else kind of along the way?
Yeah, I mean, now, the focus is getting ready for ADCC. Couldn't take off too long. ADCC is it's gonna come up quick. Just back to the grind, back doing rounds with J-Rod every day again, unfortunately. That's pretty much it.
All right, so you brought up J-Rod. I want to ask you about this. We talked a little bit about camera. I'll talk about it on camera. I feel like you might have some stuff you want to say.
Yeah.
But I saw a clip where J-Rod said he was kind of going at some commenters, people being like, this dude's freaking no technique, blah, 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 which, first of all, YouTube commenters don't always seem like they actually know the most, I'll be honest. Unless they're commenting right here on this show. You guys commenting on this show. You're the best. You know it all. And freaking let J-Rod know and let Nicky Ryan know. You guys are the true Jiu-Jitsu guys, I guess. But he was arguing with them about how he is technical and, everything that's going on when him and Ethan are rolling. He knows every position, exactly what he's doing, everything's going on, that it's a highly technical scramble and all that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask J-Rod to just put you in an outside or reverse De La Riva, he would have no idea where to go. So I'm very doubtful that he knows anything about what he's doing, to be honest. Same thing with Ethan, too. It's the best when people ask Ethan questions at the gym and he's like, oh, just do shit. And I'm just like, that's your answer? Are you kidding me?
Everybody's got a little different style over there then, huh?
Yes, yeah. Definitely, very contrasting styles.
I feel like, though, honestly, thinking about, if I was, a young blue or purple belt over there training at B team, trying to break through and become a professional grappler, there's an aspect where I guess that would kind of be good though, huh? Because you have guys like you, obviously, who are one of the most technical, knowledgeable, great at coaching. I always enjoy watching you coach everything at B team. But then, I guess it's good to learn that tenacity and all right, let's just freaking have a fight, dude. Let's just brawl. So kind of a good dynamic, I would guess, though, right?
No, yeah. I mean, everybody's going to have different styles depending on their body types, things like that, their backgrounds, if they have a wrestling background, stuff like that. So it's good to have, a bunch of different coaches with different styles. And, that way everybody can kind of lean towards, the coach that's the most similar to their style. So I definitely think it helps a lot with, getting the students better.
For sure.
Jay's been blowing up recently, though, 100%. Huh? I feel like, man, his West Coast trial, every single one of his matches is just electric to watch. It's just incredible.
Yeah, J-Rod's him and Gary are very similar.
Yeah.
They both have the most exciting matches. Jay's getting better at it now, but I mean, I remember his first West Coast Trials performance. He was just getting wrecked in the beginning of every match, and then coming back at the end and submitted everybody. And it's that's for sure the most exciting thing to watch, is to watch somebody go out, just get beat up for the first half, and then come back and submit them.
Dude, that West Coast Trials run where he went all subs, as a blue belt, got promoted to purple after the final, one of the most electric runs in all of jiu-jitsu.
That's a best ADCC moments ever. One of.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can ask any of the B team guys. None of us expected J-Rod to win that trials, to be honest. I was like, oh, Damien's gonna win. I was like, no way J-Rod's gonna win. And then he goes out and has the best trials performance ever.
For sure. So, I guess since we're talking so much about J-Rod, I might as well just ask you real quick. He has a big match on Who's Number One coming up June 20th with Tynan Dalpra. So obviously, it's a guy who Tynan's obviously one of the best in the sport, but now transitioning to no-gi against J-Rod, a guy who can do crazy shit, put you in places you've never really been before. How do you kind of think that matchup is going to go?
Yeah, I think Jay has a really good style for Tynan. I feel like we haven't really seen Tynan play too much bottom in no-gi, and I do think that J-Rod is a superior wrestler. So, Tynan definitely prefers to be on top, and I don't think he's going to be able to put Jay on bottom. So I do think that J-Rod has a very good style to beat him. And, it's hard to keep up with J-Rod's pace, I think that, in the beginning of the match, it's going to be very, very competitive. But I think as the match goes longer and longer, I think that's when you'll start to see Jay, start winning.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this is a fair question to ask. Does Jay know who Tynan is?
Jay, let's see. I think he knows who he is solely because of the last WNO where Tynan beat Taza. But before that, he absolutely had no idea. Yeah, he doesn't know who anybody is. We bring up Rafa Mendez, Marcelo Garcia, and we talk about their old matches, and he's like, "Yeah, I have no idea who you're talking about." Even Leandro Lo, he had no idea. And I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Gotta educate him, Nicky. You gotta.
I know. Trust me.
Yeah, I saw one of the vlogs where you guys were quizzing him on Marcelo, and he was just like, "Yeah, I have no idea." I would think some of these dudes he would accidentally find out about. Just I saw him on Instagram. Like an old throwback clip or something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's insane. And I remember Craig would send him videos of Rafa's matches and stuff to tell him to study it, and then his response would be, "Which one's Rafa?" And Craig's the one that wins. He's retarded.
Sitting in matches of dudes losing, being study this.
Yeah.
What's so obviously you guys got a pretty cool thing going now at B Team. For one, just seems like a great place to train and everything, and as well as how much content and stuff you guys are creating. It's almost to a certain degree, you guys are now full-time content creators as well as being professional grapplers. What's that kind of been like transition into this new role you guys have where you're vlogging, dropping a vlog every week, maybe multiple vlogs or videos, all kinds of Instagram content, you got podcasts. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, so thankfully it's not too much extra work. We have our own videographers, our own people that edit and everything, own people that come up with, content ideas, stuff like that. So it really isn't that much more work on the athlete's part. We're just pretty much just getting filmed doing the same stuff that we do every day, and then it's just occasionally narrating it to the YouTube. So it doesn't really change too much of our lives. We come in a bit early, a few days a week just to film some more content, but overall it really isn't that much more work.
Do you enjoy it? Have you been kind of liking this new aspect?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I also really enjoy the fact that all my rounds are caught on a good camera because I study my rounds every day, so it's good to be able to go back because it's the security cameras. Sometimes it's hard to see in those complex positions. So it's really good that I have all of my rounds recorded on a high quality camera.
That's crazy. That's cool. That's cool to hear that you're actually not just studying. I'm sure you study a lot of matches and stuff, but your own rounds and everything as well. What's kind of that average day in the life of Nicky Ryan look like with all that stuff?
Yeah, so pretty much, everybody gives me shit about it. I wake up at 10 a.m.
Me too, brother.
Yeah.
Dude, no shame in that. People try to talk shit on me about that as well. If you have made it where you can live a life where you get to wake up at 10 a.m., kudos. It's a blessing. These people being 5 a.m. morning protocol.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
I know, yeah.
That shit's for the birds, dude.
I gotta
wake up at 10 a.m. like a real man and have some fun.
We got Jocko on the podcast next week.
Yeah.
Trey keeps that same energy.
Wake up 10 a.m., coffee, cold plunge, go to training at noon. We do our rounds there, and then pretty much every day once I get home, I go back on the security cameras, or I have the guys at the gym send me the rounds that they recorded, and I honestly think that it's much more beneficial to study your own rounds versus studying tape from other matches. There's pros and cons to both. It's studying other matches, it's you can see new things and try and add those new things to your game, whereas studying your own rounds, it's okay, I'm having these specific problems in these positions. For example, you could see, I'm getting to the single legs a lot, my entries are good, but I'm having trouble finishing when they do this. And then it's you can do positional rounds based off of the problems that you recognize that you have from studying your own rounds.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of people talk about studying their own rounds more and more recently.
Yeah.
I forget who we were just talking to. Maybe it was Levi or somebody. But it feels like more and more everybody's watching their own rounds rather than watching other people's stuff.
I think it was Levi. He said Lachlan will have him go back in, I believe. But
yeah, and it's especially now, it's because it's coming up. Obviously, we were under John, so we had that head coach who would watch our rounds, see what we needed to added. And it's now that there's no real head coach at B Team. It's the work's kind of we put it on ourselves now. So, you need to be able to go back and watch and see, okay, this is like I'm having a serious problem here. I need to be able to fix this. So that's like kind of a way that like we like to coach ourselves.
What is that dynamic like? Because I think that's a really interesting aspect now, where you did go from, I would say, like one of the most regimented, like kind of like exact same style of class every day, like let's start on the feet, do this foot sweep into this move to this move.
Yeah.
It's like very precise, to now it does seem like, I guess I'm just watching the vlogs and everything, but so I'm not there every day, but it's like, it seems a little more chaotic at B team. Like,
oh, for
this
sure.
guy's
Coached
teaching
by
now, this
committee.
guy's teaching. Yeah. Like all of you are contributing in different ways, but what's that dynamic like? How is it to balance as a professional athlete, like your own progression in training, but also now kind of running this gym through like a committee system?
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, it's good. It's like it's very nice to have, a handful of other pro athletes who, again, have all different styles. So we can just pick each other's brains, every day. Like we're all asking each other questions every single day. So I think it's good to have, like those different styles and be able to, just converse after the rounds.
Okay, sick. Well, normally we have a segment on here where I like to surprise the guests with a thing called Guess That Grappler, where we Photoshop two grapplers together. I didn't have time to do it this time, so I'm sorry you didn't get to participate. It is fun. We'll have you on again and we'll do it.
Yes.
But instead, I got you a gift to give you, all right? So I'll
let's
be right
see
back.
it.
I'm going to go grab a gift for Nicky Ryan.
All right. We'll keep it going here without you try. Oh, okay. I thought you were
Back.
Okay, that was quick.
All right,
I thought you had to go buy the gift.
I already purchased it. I got a nice little gift here, a little brown bag special for Nicky Ryan. Now, if you watch any of the B team stuff or know anything about Nicky Ryan, you know this guy's a big fan of Zyns.
Oh.
So I went over and got him just a nice stack
Oh, yeah.
of Zyns right there, baby.
This is
I
great.
figured I would get him enough to last like maybe 1.5 days.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what flavor you're into. I saw you sign what I think was a Cool Mint.
Yes, signed a Cool Mint. Yeah, yeah.
What do you have a favorite
Legend.
Zyn or anything?
My favorite flavor Zen is for sure coffee, but the mint ones are definitely the next in line. Yeah.
All right. I saw the coffee was sitting there, and I was like, I don't know. He signed a Cool Mint, so maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that's the Cool Mint one.
How many
But-
flavors do they have?
They have like a decent amount. Yeah, they have like citrus. They have like the 2 different mint ones, coffee.
Are you trying to get sponsored by Zyn? Like,
I am.
How do we make
This
that
is
happen?
Stack of Zyns.
This is absolutely the best gift that anybody could have given me. I was
All right,
actually,
let's go, dude.
I was actually out of Zyns, and I went to the gas station the other day to buy more, and they were out of Zyns, so I had to get Rogues, and
them out.
Zyns are way better than Rogues, so I'm pumped that I
Dude,
got these.
I went. There's like a little grocery store called like Blue something grocery.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name. Blue something grocery. That's why I ran downstairs real quick. And the Royal Blue grocery. The lady was like, "Yeah, you better buy them now while you can. They're flying off the shelves." And I was like, "Oh, well, give me a couple more then." So I was like, I bagged a couple extra in there for you. But now, one thing I went with here, I went with the Sixers. All right.
Yes, yeah.
I know that's the hardcore guys are all about the Sixers. I'm trying to start a petition to get everyone back on threes. Right? I think if just as a
What is going on here?
as a population, all right, I've been sitting here from Zen actually to talk with you. As
This is a jiu-jitsu podcast.
yeah, as the people, I think if everyone just switched back to threes and we all just like reset the tolerance,
Yes.
life would be a little better. You can just have a little buzz, a little fun. You don't need to like throw up or anything. But
No, I agree. Yeah, normally when I go and buy Zyns, I normally get 1 pack of 3s and 1 pack of 6s. But yeah, like if I'm just on 6s and I do them like too quick back to back, they'll just make me super nauseous and lightheaded. So I mix it between 3s and 6s. When I'm gaming, that's when we bring the 6s out.
Okay,
When it's
locked
just
in.
Everyday life, that's when we use the 3s.
Okay. Well, the next step of this gift, I think we should all, since we got Nicky Ryan here, we should all do as Nicky Ryan does. You want to crack one of those puppies?
Yeah,
We all
let's
throw
do
one
it.
in?
Well, now I'm
do it.
nervous.
I'm down.
I'm
nervous.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a nicotine guy. All right, so I do think there's a good chance I'll just throw up.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm
What
down. I actually need to spit this. Is this a bag empty? I need to spit this shitty Rogue out.
Oh, get that rogue out of here.
Get out of here.
Get his Zen in there.
Boo, Rogue.
Nope.
Boo.
This is a message for anyone else coming on the pod. Don't bring rogues on this podcast. This is a Zen-only podcast. We stand with Nicky Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Time for the day's sponsor.
Green?
Yeah, winter green.
All right, let's go, dude.
This
Should I throw in a
episode's been-
beaver? Should I pack one up top, or do we go?
I always go,
right.
upper.
Cracking beavers, baby. Let's get it. I hope my mom doesn't watch this episode. That's a party foul.
He's that nervous.
I dropped them all on the ground.
Dude, I'm legitimately nervous here. Like, I'm a little shaky. I'm like, what's gonna happen with this Sixer, bro?
No. The key is like as soon as you feel okay, it's starting to be too much. If you just spit it out right away, you'll be nauseous for only like 5 minutes instead of 15.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never even seen one of these
Put
things before.
the empty Zyn bag.
Yeah.
All right, and here you go, Corey.
I don't know. I don't even know if we have like a trash can if someone does throw it.
I pack it like in my lip.
Yeah, in your lip.
You
You can go either upper or lower.
Yeah, but if you go upper, you get to be like a cool guy and be like, "Oh, I'm packing a beaver, upper decky, baby. Let's go."
All right, man. We'll see where this thing takes us. Like, I don't even know.
We got. Hey, producer Josh back there in the studio. Do we need to run one back to you, or you got your own back there?
Zyn, if you don't sponsor me after this, I'm gonna freak out.
For real, we need Zyn.
I give you guys so much money every week. Let me get some free Zyns.
Yeah.
So like, just like a kid came up to you with a Zyn pack and asked you.
Oh
to sign
yeah,
it?
that was my favorite autograph to ever
that's hilarious.
sign. Yeah.
We have like a really cheeky photo of you kind of smirking at a camera.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we'll send that to you or something.
Yeah, I
That's
need
a
that.
sick one to have.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
The signing the Zyn package. I don't know. So yeah, so we're all zinned up now. This is
Am I starting to feel it? Right? I don't know.
They normally kick in pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the Sixers.
I feel like I'm just nervous for some reason. Corey, I'm not gonna lie though, starting to think Corey's a nicotine guy. Look how calm and collected he is.
I know, he's not worried at all.
Cucumber. You a Zyn
Yeah.
guy, Corey?
He's just really having
that means I am, but my girlfriend doesn't know. I have to hit him with the no.
He's just secretly having a mental breakdown back there, trying to keep it all together.
100%, dude. But
I think it's just the cool mint flavors of what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll start
move it
to
around.
burn.
It's
you know?
stinging a little bit. Yeah.
get a little spit on it or something. Do you need to like get it moist? I don't know.
Yeah. Normally, yeah. Like it'll happen as time goes on. But I remember I was in Europe.
We're learning.
And they have like the Swedish snuffs out there.
That's where it originated.
Yeah, that's where it originated. So it's like to find a 3 or a 6er out there is very hard. So like when me and Damien were just recently in Belgium, and the lowest milligram they had was 24 milligrams.
Oh my
So
god.
me and Damien were just packing 24 milligram like Zyns out there, and those are rough. Those it's like we put it in for 30 seconds, get a crazy buzz, and we're like, all right, we gotta spit it out, or we're gonna throw up.
Dude, that's like everyone turn it off if you don't want to talk about drugs, I guess. But that's like being like, hey, I like 5 milligram edibles, but like here's 100. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
see what happens.
Oh yeah, those, and like the burn is insane on the 24 milligram ones. Yeah, they go like that's the lowest one that they had. Like it goes all the way up to like 50, 100, and I'm like, I don't understand how people do this.
Dude, I remember, so like pretty much the only other time I've tried a Zyn, I was with my buddy at a bar here in Austin. I guess this is just a Zyn podcast now, but we'll get back to it. I'm sure the people love this.
Yes.
Nicky Ryan talking Zyn. But my buddy like gave me one, and like we were already drinking. I was like, yeah, I'll throw this in, and I like threw it in. Then I turned, ordered a drink. The lady walked off before she got back with the drink. I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I was freaking out, like eyes watering, and I just like took it and just like threw it across the bar. I was like, dude, get this away from me, bro.
Yeah,
But-
no, it's rough when you do it too much. Yeah, like there's been times where I'm in the car and like I just packed too many Sixers in a row, and I'm just like, wow, I need to pull over. I'm like dripping sweat, like super like high anxiety. I'm like, I need to pull over and just chill for a minute.
Dude, that's incredible.
Dude, I can't wait to get out of here. Just go buy like 10 packs of Sixers.
I'm
all in. I'm all.
Dude, next time you see us, we come to like film you a B team or something. We're just cargo pockets loaded with Zyns. Yeah, man, dude, freaking Zyns are the best.
Yeah, Zyns are literally the reason why I started wearing a fanny pack.
Dude,
I'm tired of
feeling.
carrying them in my pockets. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, I wonder. At least everybody's like, oh, Nicky always has that fanny pack on. I'm like, yeah, it's just filled with Zyn cans. That's it.
So wait, like while you roll and stuff too, do you do Zyns?
Oh, absolutely.
You do?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's definitely backfired on me quite a few times. I remember once I was training with Dorian, and that kid's so hard to get a hold
Jesus
of.
Christ,
Yikes.
Yeah, and this was a long time ago too. We were training at 10th Planet Open Mat, and I like was like in guard and was like the whole round trying to just get a hold of him. And then I finally get in on like a deep double. And I like take a deep breath in, and a sixer just goes straight down my throat. Yeah,
A sixer too?
a sixer. Yeah, it just goes straight down my throat. I'm like choking, but I'm like, I just got a hold of this man. I'm like, I'm absolutely not stopping. So I'm just choking, trying to finish this double leg. End up just fully swallowing the Zyn, and then I was like, okay, we're good now.
I don't know if you are.
We haven't had any stomach
Yeah.
issues. I've swallowed a handful of Zyns on accident.
My man's over here throating sixers.
Full of Zyns.
My man's throwing sixers. Somebody clip that. But yeah, make that shirt. Sell that on. I'm throwing sixers. I don't know. That's like a cool
new
Jiu-Jitsu
merch idea.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. But
So you had a match with JT Torres.
yeah, let's
Back to the
now
important
that the
stuff.
boys are buzzing a little bit. Let's get into this match. Yeah, so it was a sick match. Obviously incredible. Where would you rank it up there with like matches you've had in your career?
Oh, absolutely. Like my best performance I've ever had, like even before the match I was saying, JT's the highest caliber athlete I've ever faced. So, obviously as you guys could see from my reaction after the win, I was pumped to especially get a submission victory. JT, hasn't been subbed in 11 years, something like that. Last person to do it was Kron at ADCC. So it was, a huge moment for me to be able to go out there and submit him, and just like a big confidence boost going into, ADCC. Obviously I've been saying this for years. I haven't really been able to perform as well on the competition mats as I do in training. And I felt like that was, one of the first times that I was able to, get close to, the training version of me. So it's definitely a big confidence boost.
For sure. Go ahead.
Just like before the match and everything, because like it felt like when we announced it, there was a lot of buzz, and it seemed like you right away kind of taking it very seriously, and JT was taking it very seriously. Like, did you put a lot of pressure on yourself for the match? Like, did you feel any extra pressure or anything? Just the caliber of opponent and just knowing.
To be honest, like for me, like I like being like the underdog. I like going against people that are more accomplished because it's less pressure on me. When I'm going against somebody that I'm supposed to beat, then it's like, oh wow, I better not mess this up. It's gonna look real bad. But yeah, like going against JT, sorry. There wasn't that much pressure on me beforehand.
All right, I'm literally like, I'm feeling it.
Really?
Here
you go.
I'm gonna take it out. Just
we got a quitter over here.
I didn't want to be the
Pan?
first one. I didn't want to be the first one, but yeah, I got to
My
be.
man
Sorry,
was over
sorry.
there. My man was asking the question. So, JT, right?
Where am I?
Now I'm getting a little lightheaded.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So I'm in a good spot. I don't wanna
That's
push
the
it.
right call. You wanna take it out as
I'm taking
soon as it.
Nicky's advice.
Yeah.
there.
You take it out when you kind of feel good, like a little, like, I don't know.
For me, it's like the moment that I start to feel, all right, I'm starting to get a little too lightheaded or a little nauseous. I'm like, I need to spit this thing out immediately.
I'm definitely getting there. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna ride it to the end.
All right.
If I throw up on the podcast, I feel like that would be good.
That's content. For
No
sure.
offense,
Like,
no
if I
offense to
go
John
with that-
Combs. Legendary clip.
Like if I got down right now and started doing jiu-jitsu, like, oh, I don't know, man.
That's when you do your best work. All
Is
right?
it?
Yes.
That's that part kind of blows my mind, dude. Doing jujitsu with this feeling, like I don't.
Yeah,
I
I've
guess
debated walking
Maybe we're
out.
not quite as good at jujitsu, so we need
Yeah,
to be a
yeah.
little more locked in.
I know. I need to start walking out with a Zyn can. Sorry, we keep getting.
Yeah, I didn't mean to
bring it back.
Well,
yeah.
we have I think we have your match with JT queued up where we can play. If you want to kind of talk us through this and just tell us what's going on, you don't have to break down everything, but maybe just like some key moments and just what your thoughts are and everything. So the match is kicking off here. Obviously,
What a
huge
great
moment,
match.
you know?
What a great match
Yeah.
it is.
This
too.
was an epic one. We talked about this at the press conference a little bit, but it's like one of those where I don't know if this match was ever supposed to happen, but it was always one where everyone was like, dude, that would be sick if
Yes.
we did see this happen, you know? So and finally it came to fruition here.
It
Yeah.
feels like every ADCC when the 77 bracket comes up, you're like, oh, JT and Nicky could hit. It might happen this year. And like it just, it's one of those matches that I think everybody's always wanted to see.
Yeah.
Especially now, Nicky, that your wrestling has gotten at such a high level. Like you want to see Nicky wrestle with JT just to see what that looks like, right? Because
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, he's got one of the best top games in the sport.
No, I think the two most like anticipated matches for me was JT and Mika, and it has been that for the past few years. So I'm happy we're able to finally get one, and I'm sure Mika's gonna I'll either face him at ADCC on next WNO, something like that. But
For sure.
yeah,
That would be an incredible WNO match, honestly.
yes, no, for sure.
Little title match, welterweight, you versus Mika.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest matches he can make in the sport, to be honest.
How much of this match for you was like an ability to test your wrestling and like where you're
Nicky
wrestling?
the wrestler.
Yeah, no,
Because we
like-
got to see it here, right?
Yes, yeah. No, like, JT is obviously known as, one of the best wrestlers.
Ooh, that was sick.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I remember right after that high crotch, like you can't see it from this angle, but I smiled. I was like, oh yeah, I'm moving good today. It was like a big confidence boost. Even though like I didn't even touch his leg, I was like, okay.
If he had shoes
I'm
on.
moving good today, yeah.
This is also, I always like to point out the physiques as the slightly more gay-leaning guy. On the podcast.
Yes.
But like, we always we see different body
abs-
shapes from Nicky
Oh,
Ryan.
absolutely.
Like I remember T-shirt Nicky. It was
Yes.
like, hey, you guys are here filming. I'm not wearing a rash guard.
Yes.
But here we got little Jack Nicky Ryan.
I know. Finally back in shape. If you go in my closet, you'll see like 20 different sizes of shirts, rash guard shorts.
Yeah.
Like I go through phases, But
wanna-
thankfully, I feel like I've done a fairly good job of staying in shape this past year.
I think a lot of times whenever jiu-jitsu guys wrestle, it's like if someone just touches a leg, it's like, holy shit, dude, this guy's a wrestler.
Yes.
But you're obviously operating at a much higher wrestling exchanges here. You want to kind of talk us through what's going through your head here? What are you trying to do with JT on the feet?
Yeah, so like the main thing I was worried about going into this, and I spent a lot of time during the camp practicing this, was pacing. Something that I struggled with at the last ADCC was pacing. I came out way too strong, gassed myself out trying to hand fight, and then ended up just being exhausted and getting scored on. So that's why I kind of came out relatively slow. Like here it's still, a very low pace. Both me and JT were, doing a good job of pacing ourselves, not, getting super tired in the beginning. But that was like the main thing that I was focused on. I was like, okay, let me just come out, hand fight a little bit. I'll take shots if I see the opportunity. But I wanted to pace myself for, a 15-minute match and make sure that I didn't get tired, 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in.
Because obviously it's a lot of hand fighting and stuff. Are there keys to the hand fight you're trying to do right now?
Yeah, so pretty much all I'm trying to do is like, I'm trying to hang off of JT's head as much as I can. So you see me do like a lot of level changes and fakes like that. That's mainly just to get his legs moving back and give me access to the head. Yeah, JT had a nice shot, but thankfully I was able to thumb post and kind of limp leg out. He got in like fairly deep on 2 shots where I had to limp leg out. But yeah. There was a nice double. I do that a lot. I do a lot of wrist snaps into doubles. I think most of the shots I took actually were off of wrist snaps. So like whenever we're in tie-ups, whether, most of the time it's when he has an inside tie, I'll like insert that shoulder post over the top because you can't wrist snap against a bent elbow, right? So you need to get arms extended first, and it's good to get a pushback reaction. So I'll start with a thumb post in the shoulder. I'll drive into him, and then as I get that pushback reaction, I'll slide down to the wrist and snap it off, and it's really good for, setting up those shots. It's actually something that Gino Morelli showed me, and actually shout out to him. Yeah, I was actually gonna fly him out for the camp and stuff, but he's got a baby on the way, so he couldn't make it, but he did do some breakdowns and gave me some tips and stuff for the wrestling. So big thank you to Gino for that. Yeah,
That sounds cool.
Gino, Penn State wrestler,
Yeah,
right? Wrestled
yeah.
at Penn State, but he trains with you guys sometimes over at B Team.
Yeah, he comes down and visits Austin, and man, he's such a good technical wrestler and very good at teaching. If you guys get a chance, check out his instructionals and stuff like that. Very good teacher. So yeah, he was able to do some video breakdowns for me and give me a bunch of tips. And one of the things he talked about was getting those pushback reactions and then snapping and shooting off of it.
So as we're getting deeper into these exchanges and everything, you've shot that low single a few times and stuff. At this point, are you kind of realizing like, all right, I think that's where I'm gonna get him? Like, do you know like that's how you're gonna get him to the ground?
Yeah, so I shot a few like kind of like low outside singles, stuff like that. And I also shot some doubles, and JT's just made of steel and has crazy hips. Like I got in pretty deep on those doubles, and he just like shucked me off.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's gonna have to be, I'm gonna have to put more like finesse into it, do like these outside shots, these low singles, things like that. Yeah, there's a little reshot right there. But man, yeah, JT.
Producer said beautiful reshot. You're winning him over back there, dude.
Yeah.
Now I will say he said he's a grizzly long cut guy, I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He might think this is kind of lame shit. This
I bet he does. Yeah.
Nothing wrestlers like more than a nice reshot. Like that is the best.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, we just got called, like the ref brought us in and was like, hey, you guys need to start shooting more. So
Boom.
What a single.
There was the low single. I do this a lot, man. Like you could probably,
low single.
Can we watch that again? Can we run
is it
back? Like,
yeah,
for that is such.
So pretty much what I do is like I have like an outside tie and I fake a duck one direction and then I switch directions down to that low single. I've taught this a ton on our YouTube and stuff like that, Submeta. So like I teach this move a lot and I hit it very often. This is like the move that like I've done a lot of training with J-Dog, who's also like a fairly established wrestler, and like just doing these straight on shots, it's so hard to get to his legs, so you have to do things like faking ducks one side, low singles on the other.
And you throwing a little cheeky dog bar here.
Yeah, man, this was pretty tight. I honestly thought I was gonna get this for a second. I mean, I haven't asked JT about it, but like I got that leg pretty extended, and I've hit this in training quite a bit, especially against J-Rod. Yeah, this dog bar definitely works, and it was getting tight there. Now, I went to go reach back for a tight waist there. He did a good job of transferring to like cross ashi. And pretty much here, I just pummeled my right leg inside. I do this a lot when we're both seated. Now here, I kind of get stuck a bit. You see me trying to shoot my knee through, and I can't because his knee is down. So I just cross my ankles to just kind of lock the position in place. And now from here, like I need to try and off balance him and start sitting him down to a hip to get access to that ankle. So I bring my knees to my chest right here, and then I start kind of flaring them out towards my left-hand side. And that brings that ankle closer to me and peels his wrist grip off. So now I got control of that ankle. Now I can start shooting this knee through and fully locking up that figure four.
Looks on right there.
Yeah. There, like, that's honestly a better positioning for finishing that ankle lock. Like, belly down's always going to be better, but my hand was still stuck, so I couldn't lock my hands. And then by the time I freed my hand, he was back belly up.
A JT poker face, too. And there it is.
Yes.
He tapped.
Yeah.
Look at this reaction.
yeah.
This is one of the, this is such a sick part, too.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. No, I still
really
get
is.
chills, like, rewatching it. I've rewatched it, like, 20 times. I still get chills, rewatching
Your mom coming in a frame there. No love for your mom, though.
I know. I was, like, so, like, hyped up. I didn't even realize that she was there. But yeah, JT like tapped like this and the ref didn't see it. So I had to like tell the ref, I'm like, he's tapping. And then I just I remember before the match, I was like, oh, JT's like such a nice guy. I was like, if I win, I'm not going to celebrate. I've never celebrated for any matches. I normally just stand up, hold my two fingers
You got to
up.
celebrate this one.
Yeah. And then I was like, that all went out the window as soon as he tapped. I felt bad. I like shoved them off. I was like, damn.
If we could, Josh, could we run it back and like back to that leg entanglement? Because I'm not going to lie, this leg entanglement exceeds my jiu-jitsu. I don't know what the freak is
going on here.
I know Corey's tried to break it down to me, tell me what's going on, but this is an insane exchange, right? Like,
yes, yeah. To be honest, this
high
is
level.
Yeah, like when I go against people that are also good leg lockers, this is my favorite position to actually try and submit them.
Ooh,
right? So he has cross ashi, but right leg is pummeled through and underneath. If you guys saw it in a seated position, like that's been done in competition a lot. This is the first time I've ever done it or even seen it done in competition when they're on top. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like this is, because like it just completely kills their mobility. Like he can't stand up because his leg is just completely trapped in between my legs. And it's also like limits your ability to turn and hide your heel and stuff like that. So like, and to be honest, like, I didn't even think I was going to get the ankle lock. I was more doing that to get a boot reaction to make it easier to catch the heel. And then I like felt it start popping as I was going for it. Actually, like it's kind of hard to see, but like as my head goes back, you can actually see me say, I'm like, holy shit, because I hear it like popping.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to go all out on this. And then he ended up tapping.
Damn, dude, that's so crazy. There's one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You kind of like react a little bit.
Yeah. It's like hard to see in that angle, but it's like if you do it in like slow motion, as I go back, you can see my mouth moving saying like, holy shit.
Whenever you're in that position where obviously JT was pinning your arm, he didn't want you to collect that far leg.
Yeah.
Is that a position where you're kind of like freestyling, innovating a little bit? Like, all right, I know what this is like in a seated position. I know how to get there, but I've never really been here before. Or is that somewhere like, no, I've been here. I know exactly what I'm doing. Or like, how do you get to the finish from there, I guess?
Yeah, well, just as like a conceptual thing, it's like, and like I did this a lot at trials too, especially with Cody Steele and stuff. It's like you want to try and get their hips down to the mat before you start chasing the sub. Like a lot of people try and rush it and they just try and catch the heel when they're still standing, and then they run into problems with collar ties, hand fighting, or even just turning out when they're still very mobile, versus trying to sit someone down to a hip first, kill their mobility, and then start chasing the submission. So it's like, if you notice in my match with Cody Steele too at trials, it's like I enter into a super deep Ashigarami, and I even have like, we call it far hip Ashi, so I even have a reaping leg in where I could just start to turn him and expose it. But I first focused on getting control of that secondary leg, sitting him down to a hip first, and killing his mobility, and then chasing the sub.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah, so it's
so sick to watch.
pretty much the same concept here of, like trying to just get the Ashigarami in place, then sit him down to a hip, and then chase the sub.
Nice. Dude, we got this shot on me right now. I'm not going to lie. Freaking buzzing right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like kind of floating through this
Yeah,
right now.
dude.
Like,
I know, even me, because I just had a 6 Rogan too, so I was like back-to-back
Upgrade,
sixer, so I'm buzzing as well.
So glad I took
Yeah.
it out. He's so wrecked.
I'm riding it out. I had a moment there where I was like, I'm in over my head. Dude. I'm in over my head. I'm in over my head. But
Yeah,
I'm
I feel
riding
like
through it.
the Zen has peaked. Now it's on its,
Oh,
Okay.
we're cruising.
yeah,
now,
we're
dude.
cruising now. It won't get worse.
okay.
You didn't get to
We've
the
gone through
cruising
the
turf.
Yeah, we got through the hardest part.
All right. I know Josh kind of hates it when we freestyle this because it's hard to hear you, but if you want to do a little carpet jiu-jitsu, you want to talk us through this?
Yeah, we
Corey,
can
you
for
down
sure.
to come down in here, get in
let's
this?
figure this
Let's
out.
do it.
Now that the boys are zinned up, we're ready to roll. I'll hold a mic down there. If you want to just kind of get into this position and maybe we can get a wide on it or something, I'll try to hold a mic and we'll talk through this.
Especially that like figure 4 kind of finish there that you go to.
Yeah, so first I'll just show it like when we're both seated, because like we'll
Try to talk as much as you can into this.
Okay, yeah.
I'll hold it down here for you.
Yeah, and like, so what camera are we facing? Are we facing that camera?
I think it'd be that one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you want to scoot around this way? Yeah. So like, this is the position that we do it like most often, and like you can see this done in competition as well, where people will just take this outside leg, they'll pummel through, they'll get a 2-on-1, and then they shoot their knee through. And this is the exact same position that I finished JT in. This is where, again, it's most commonly done. But with JT, he was like in top position, right? So he had climbed on top, and as he was climbing on top, like, you can fully build up to your knee, As he was climbing on top, I got this outside leg through and underneath like so, and I scooped in here. So this is essentially just a pulling grip to help get his weight coming towards me and kind of draw that leg in. And then let's scoop back a little bit.
Open up a little, Corey.
Yeah, open to that camera.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
This
so
is
we were
sick.
pretty much in here, right? And he had control over this wrist, like so. Yeah, so pretty much from here, again, we want to try and focus on sitting him down to a hip. So I use this pulling grip behind the knee, as well as bringing my knees in towards my chest to get his weight coming towards me. And then from here, all I did was I started to flare this knee out and open, and he has no base because his leg's trapped. So this gives me access to that ankle, and then from there I was able to shoot through and get into this this position like so. I ended up freeing my hand, and now I've actually been doing, let's just rotate this way a little bit. So like, I used to finish straight Achilles in like a certain way. I used to focus on trying to bring hands high and stuff like this, but it kind of kills the ability to put pressure down on the toes. So like, now what I've been doing is instead of focusing on high hands, like I've actually been keeping my hands lower, because it allows me to drop this shoulder back and get a lot more pressure on the toes. Versus when I bring the hands up super high like this, there's not as much pressure on the toes. So I've been keeping low hands, locking up like the shotgun grip, and then just leaning my my shoulder back, and that puts a lot more pressure on the end of his toes. So now from here, when I start to bridge in, you can, you get breaks way easier like this versus trying to break with like super high hands, because there's no pressure on the toes.
Do you feel like you go like off the back of the toes though sometimes, or?
They don't ever really slip now, because it's like everything's like very locked in place here. So it's like I can really control how far back I go. And like it's like, I mean, he'll tell you it's a lot more pressure versus here compared to here.
It feels like this hand kind of like locks the trap in the lat in place, so that it's not going to slip off.
One of the craziest position or aspects of this, I feel like, in my opinion, like looking at it, a guy who's just not very good at leg exchanges, is how he's completely trapped. Like he cannot move his legs at all, right? Like he's just stuck.
This secondary leg is just fully trapped, and I had a full figure 4 with my leg, so it's like very hard to free it. It's like from JT's or his perspective, it's like as I'm shooting that leg through, like you need to be able to like flick this leg out. Otherwise, it's like very hard to get out. The next step in defending it is to try and separate my legs and then free your leg. But again, I'm attacking you while you're doing that. So it's like you don't have that much time to try and do that. So you really need to preemptively just flip this leg out as you feel me shooting through. So that way it's just a standard outside ashi instead of this like trapped position.
So sick.
I've been looking at this position a ton since 2 weekends ago. And I've been trying to figure out if we're back in like in regular cross ashi here, is the mistake I would make figure 4 in my legs versus like, I feel like this is a lot harder to pummel inside, right?
The pummel threat is like always going to be there no matter what configuration you use. So it's, you just need to preemptively like either flick your leg out, or what you can do, so like if I have you in cross ashi too, is you can kind of trap them in the position. So it's like as I feel this leg come through, what I can do is I can cross my right ankle over top of my left. So now it's like when he tries to grab my ankle and shoot his leg through, his legs are very trapped, and it's and now it's again it kind of kills his hip mobility, so it makes it a lot easier to start exposing the heel here. So this is like another counter I also really like to do. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's incredible, dude.
That's
All
dope.
Right, we got a little 10-minute warning for the show. So
Sick.
But yeah, that was incredible to see. That's awesome, breaking all that down and shit.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But
And do you feel like these ankle locks are coming back, right? It's like just kind of the evolution of like
resurgence of the straight
the
ankle.
no-gi meta, because like there was a time when you saw people finishing heel hooks all the time. You don't see it as much anymore, and people are switching back to the ankle lock.
Yes, I think one person to thank for that is probably Mateusz Szczynski. He came to B team and just pretty much broke all of our ankles and ankle locks like badly. So
Sorry.
No, you're good. So he was like one of the reasons that I actually kind of started focusing on it again, because like again like I used to finish ankle locks very differently, and it'd be very hard to actually finish them against high level opponents. And then I was like, this isn't going to work at the highest level. So that's why we were always, all the DDS were always focused on heel hooks, things like that. It's also like you can get much more devastating breaks with heel hooks too, because it's like some people will just let their ankles pop and then not tap.
Yeah.
And then like Mateusz came and like it was very hard to stop his straight ankle. So I started to kind of like focus on that more. Same thing with Craig. I mean, there's a video on YouTube of Craig submitting me like 6 times in a round with ankle locks. So I was like, all right.
Don't watch that one. Everyone at home, do not watch that one.
Fake, deep fake AI.
Yeah, Craig's getting great with AI technology. I
was
like,
all right, I need to learn how to do this.
When we were in Poland at Mateusz's gym, everybody was using that shotgun grip,
it's
and I was
crazy,
just
dude.
like, you tap. It was not close to like, I don't want to see where this goes. I don't want to try and grit this one out. They bit. They got the shotgun. I'm done.
Yeah, it was like all the way from white belt to black belt. These freaking Polish killer dudes. They look like they're just like these Eastern European gangsters grabbing the shotgun grip of my ankle, and I was like, done, dude.
Yeah, it comes on.
If you
so
put me
quick.
there, I'm tapping. You could just stop doing it at this point.
Yes, yeah.
So Mateusz Szczynski is a guy that I really was hoping would get into ADCC. Like, I think he's just like, he brings a cool dynamic to, someone different from a different, different scene completely and everything. Obviously, he's so good at the straight ankle. He's so good just in general as you just
the thing I like about his style is he's just very dangerous. He's not known as a positional guy, guard passer, wrestler, things like that. Has a very hard guard to pass. But overall, he's just, very dangerous. It's kind of like Cade, it's like he's not really known as a super positional guy. He's more known as being dangerous. Like those styles are always fun to watch.
For sure. I think we have a graphic, if you want to throw it up, Josh, of your division, the 77 kilogram division here, and just kind of wanted to go through here. And obviously, I mean, it's ADCC, so it's like the most stacked names in the world out there. But is there anybody just looking at this like off the rip where you're like, all right, these are kind of some guys that I got my eye on, some matches I'm interested in? Like,
yeah, it's a crazy stacked division, man. I mean, you got JT in there, obviously Joe Chen and Kenta, and I'm sure we'll end up being on the same side of the bracket. So I'll run into one of those guys. Langacker's tough. Andrew Tackett's been on a tear lately. You got Levi in there, Mika, Cade.
Yeah.
Like it's 77's the most stacked division. Like I don't see one name in here where I'm like, oh, that's an easy match. Like every single match is very tough.
100%. All right, now I want to ask you about one other thing here, okay? This Craig Jones Invitational. Yeah. All right? A lot of hype going on about this. I want to hear from Nicky Ryan. What do you know about this? What's going on with the CJI out there?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a very real thing. Like Craig has booked the venue and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, those screenshots he posted of the money in an account, those are very real. He has the money. And yeah, man, I mean, like overall, it's a great thing for the sport. Jiu-Jitsu's never seen $1 million cash prize, especially for just one person. Like I think Aiga does it for they're doing it for a team event. But like one person walking away with $1 million, man, that's crazy. And that's a very good thing for the sport.
For sure. Brings a crazy dynamic, where
absolutely.
Like in jiu-jitsu, whenever you think everything's just cruising. Also, if you want to pan over and show Corey real quick, you'll notice that he's gone. Dude just disappeared out of nowhere. Yes. My man's throwing up somewhere right now, bro.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What a coward, huh? Too scared to throw up on camera.
We're on the cruising part too.
Yeah, I know. That's
so weird.
This is a can of Coke over here now, dude. I'm chilling, having a good time.
Yeah, but he got down and did some jiu-jitsu, so that might kind of throw him off.
He might have thrown it a sixer during that, dude. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, the jiu-jitsu world's a crazy world, and it's like it's still it's not like as refined. It's not an Olympic sport, where like wrestling, it's like, all right, here's the things that happen, and this is the bylaws we go by. So jiu-jitsu can bring these crazy dynamics where all of a sudden someone like Craig, most influential guy in the sport probably right now, crazy presence. Yeah. He's on a freaking international tour just making waves, and he's like, screw it, I'm going to raise $3 million and just drop a crazy tournament where now it's like, damn, dude, flip the world on its head. And
it's the Wild West. You got to embrace it, It's like that's the good thing about jiu-jitsu. It's the Wild West.
Yes, yeah. No, it's a huge thing for the sport for sure. I just wish that it was like a different date, This scumbag is making us choose.
Craig likes the chaos though.
I know it's a hard decision to make. I still haven't even made my decision yet. I gotta figure it out soon.
For sure. Corey just rocked back up with his toothbrush over there.
Yeah.
Murdered a sixer in that leg entanglement.
Yeah. I knew it.
Brutal.
But yeah, Nicky, I mean, great having you on, dude. Great talking to you.
One question I just want to ask too, Nicky, is just to kind of follow up. I feel like everybody's kind of curious about this a little bit. We've seen you at ADCC multiple times. Maybe things haven't quite lined up for you, health-wise and stuff like that. Just kind of, what are you doing to focus on the health to make sure that you're good for here on out, and make sure that some of those setbacks that you've had earlier in your career don't kind of creep up again?
Yeah. So one thing that I actually changed, like for the JT camp, is so like I used to just always go for like crazy amounts of volume, so like multiple sessions a day, things like that, and like lower intensity. So it's like I think that's better for progressing, and when you're out of camp, that's the way that I do think that you should be training. But when you're in camp, I think that it's much better to go lower volume and higher intensity. So I'm doing actually significantly less rounds when I'm in camp, but they're much higher intensity, so it gets you better at pacing, gets you better at going that competition speed versus going in and doing 6-10 minute rounds at like a low pace. And it's like, to be honest, like even though you're going at a higher intensity, like my body just feels better. I don't get sore as much, things like that. Thankfully I had no injuries throughout this whole camp. So that's one big thing that I've changed is, lowering the volume and upping the intensity to both get me in shape and also not get injured.
Hell yeah, man.
Perfect. Yeah, gotcha.
Well, I think we're pretty much running up on time here. Super great having you. After this, I'm gonna run off into like obviously at Flow Sports here we have some corporate departments as well. I'm probably gonna just run over to one of those departments and just throw up in their trash can.
Nice,
Just be like, sorry man, it's for the sake. This is showbiz, baby.
Yes,
This is showbiz, baby. But yeah, it's great having you. Great hearing from you. I'm sure the fans are gonna love hearing you break all that stuff down. You know, you're obviously a fan favorite. You're a favorite of everyone here at Flow. So thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Great
thank you
talking
for
to
having me, man.
Anything else you want to plug or anything? I know. Go subscribe to the B Team YouTube.
Yeah,
all that.
B Team YouTube. Check out my instructionals on BJJ Fanatics. We got our sub meta for full rounds and even more videos of me breaking my own rounds down. So check all that out and subscribe to Flow.
Let's go, dude. Well, another great show. Great having you here. Thank you guys at home for watching. Make sure and subscribe to FloGrappling. Go over to the B Team YouTube channel if you haven't already. Subscribe there. Watch what all these crazy dudes are doing over there at B Team every day. You can watch J-Rod and Ethan just try to freaking decapitate each other and Nicky come in and just clean up and stuff. So,
Yes.
so great time to be a jiu-jitsu fan. We got all kinds of great content going from all different sources. Great matches, all on FloGrappling, all over the place, really. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm going to go swallow this sixer and then throw up
Nice.
trash can.
Thanks, Nicky.
Thank you.